I've coached hundreds of sales reps, and my top students are consistently making over $15,000 in commissions every month. Here's what separates them from everyone else. But first, let's define what I mean by top students. These are people who started working with me when they were struggling to hit $10,000 a month. Most of them were on the verge of burnout or already burned out. Here's the myth that people believe. They think that the most successful sales reps have natural talent. They think that they have way more experience, or they think that they got lucky with a unicorn offer. The reality is, it's about specific behavioral patterns that anyone can replicate. There's no secret sauce. It's just behavioral patterns that create predictable results. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to focus on so you can become a top closer too. If you don't know me, my name is Princess Bonhomme. I help high-ticket closers break through their income ceilings. The reason I can help my students achieve these results is simple. I started exactly where they did, struggling, burning out, stuck at the same income level for months and months, and I figured out how to break through my income ceiling, and now I teach others how to do it too. So let's get into the 4 non-negotiable behaviors that separate these students from the rest. The first one is that they don't offer hop. Now listen before you lose it. They don't offer hop every 3 months. And I did this too. I stayed with one company for 18 months while every other closer who joined didn't even last more than just a few months on the account. The problem with offer hopping is you never truly understand one avatar. So every time you switch, you're starting over again at 0. And every time you start over, you are just inviting more and more anxiety into your life. There's new objections, there's new pain points, there's new decision-making patterns with each kind of prospect. When you're consistent, this compounds because you start learning the objections inside and out, you get really good at understanding that specific avatar, and you develop a pattern recognition that only comes from repetition. So let me give you a real example. I have a student who stuck with one offer for 16 months. In month 3 on her offer, she was struggling. Month 4, she was doing a little bit better, but not where she wanted to be. In months 8 and 9 on the offer, she started working with me and she was able to start consistently hitting $15,000 months. Compare that to another closer who switched offers 5 times in that same 16 months. That closer never even broke $10,000 a month. That closer was never able to break through their income ceiling because they kept resetting their learning curve. The commitment required is a minimum of 6 months to really see results and feel like, okay, I can sell to these prospects with my eyes closed. Most people quit at month 2 or 3 right when they're about to break through. They blame the offer when really they just couldn't give themselves enough time to master it. Now, I'm not saying stay on an offer no matter what's going on. It's just that if lead flow slows down, and that's the only issue, don't jump ship. Just add another client so that way you still have reps on the same offer, and that offer, even though lead flow is low, it can become your bread and butter and you can make great money on it because you have been working with that same avatar for so many months. Now, the second behavior that separates my top students is that they are obsessive about improvement. So they have nightmares about deals that they should have closed but didn't. I'm not exaggerating. These people lose sleep over the opportunities they missed. The difference between caring and not caring about your losses is everything. Top performers analyze every call that didn't close. They ask themselves, what could I have done differently? Where did I lose this prospect? What question did I not ask? And on top of that, they're not afraid to ask me questions that make them look stupid because they'd rather look stupid than stay stupid. They're not worried about protecting their ego. They're way more concerned about protecting their income. I had a student who analyzed every single sales call and looked for patterns. So he was able to notice that he was losing deals at the exact same point in discovery every single time. So once he caught that, we were able to fix it and his close rate jumped 30%. So he went from closing at 30% to closing at 60%. He literally doubled his income because he was obsessive about his growth. Here's the mindset shift that you need to make. Every no is data for improvement. Meanwhile, Average closers see every no as evidence that they're a loser. So while one group is collecting data, the other group is collecting trauma. Let that sink in. The third behavior is that my top students do not waste their energy on self-pity. We all get into slumps. Sometimes the marketing completely changes and you get a completely different avatar than you're used to. My top students feel the disappointment, but they don't live there. They have what I call the 24-hour rule. Feel it, learn from it, move on. Managing your energy is critical in sales, so they just focus on what they can control, how much they prepare, the questions they ask, and how they follow up. They don't spiral about things that are completely outside of their control. Compare this to average performers who spiral for weeks. So one bad week turns into a bad month because they can't shake it off. They start telling themselves stories about why they're not cut out for sales. Meanwhile, top performers are just analyzing what went wrong and then correcting it. The fourth behavior that my top students have is that they are consistent. They show up even when they don't feel like it. Now, this is the least sexy behavior, but it's the most important one. Daily discipline beats motivation-based action every single time. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is what carries you through bad days, rejection streaks, and low motivation. So you're probably wondering, how do they handle it when they get into a slump? They have systems. They have non-negotiables, and they show up every single day. They do the same pre-call routine. They don't negotiate with themselves about whether they feel like doing the hard work. The compound effect of consistency over 6 to 12 months is massive. Small daily actions create exponential results when you don't quit. So here's some food for thought. Why do average performers quit right before a breakthrough? It's because they're operating on feelings instead of systems. When they have a bad week, they decide it's not working and they bail right before the momentum actually shifts. So here's what's different in the mindset of top performers. They see themselves as business owners, not employees. They're not waiting for someone else to tell them what to do. They're figuring it out and they're executing. To them, every skill gap is an investment opportunity, not a personal failing. So when they discover that they're weak at something, they don't shame themselves. They see it as the next thing to improve that'll increase their income. They take responsibility for their outcomes instead of blaming external factors. If the leads are bad, they figure out how to work with them. If they have a bad month, they analyze, what could I have done differently? They operate from the assumption that they have complete control over their results. So the key is thinking long term. They are building a career, not just hitting a monthly target. They're thinking about, where am I going to be in 3 years, as opposed to where am I going to be next month? This mindset as a foundation impacts every decision they make. So, how are we going to start applying this today? First, choose to commit to your offer until you get so good at selling them that you can close this avatar in your sleep. Second, have a clear improvement system. How are you going to improve your sales calls? Are you going to review them daily? Are you going to invest in coaching? Just get clear on what that system looks like. Third, build a recovery protocol. How are you going to recover when you have a bad day? What are you going to do when you're in a slump? Have a plan before you actually need it. And fourth, plan out how will you be consistent. What are your non-negotiables? What are you going to do every single day regardless of how you feel? Write those down and then commit. Here's how I know you're serious. Pick one behavior from today and implement it for 30 days. Not all 4 of them, just one. Just commit completely. And stop making excuses about why your situation is different. Your leads are not worse. Your offer is not harder. You're just not executing at the level required yet. So commit to the process and not just the outcome. If you fall in love with actually doing the work, you won't need motivation to do the work. And if you want deeper training on exactly how to implement these behaviors, jump into my free school community. The link is in the description. That is where I break down specific strategies that my students use to consistently hit 15K plus months in commissions. And I'm curious, which one of these behaviors are you going to implement in the next 30 days? Comment that below. I'm looking forward to reading every single one. And last but not least, like and subscribe if you got value from this, and I will see you in the next one.